Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you for coming in and joining and grabbing this morning nugget before you start your day. So, if I am traveling with you or in your commute, I hope that you are already having a wonderful and safe day as you prepare for how it is that you're going to lead. Um, I am both on my computer as well as my phone so that I can engage with my Instagram community as well. So if you see me going back and forth, it's because of that. So each Tuesday morning, I come to you as a leadership strategist to kind of just share some nuggets in your day, nuggets for you to consider if a need to kind of pivot or build up your leveling up your career, and how it is that you lead on a day-to-day basis, and not understanding why there is a glass ceiling or what are some of the barriers and blind spots that's holding you back. Tuesday mornings at 7:30 in the morning, I come in and generally share some nuggets in regards to how it is that you can level up your career unapologetically, utilizing the skills, gifts, and talents that you already uniquely have. However, enabling you to be able to show up in the workplace and develop in the career, life, everything that you would like to do on your terms so that you could be successful and earn the income that you are also trying to match in that capacity as well. And so, in today's conversation, we are talking about like some of those unplanned interruptions, kind of continuing on from last Tuesday's conversation where we were talking about the corporate costume and how it is that you show up at work and you show up in the different spaces in the conference room and the meetings and the meeting about the meeting, and how you sometimes have to navigate some unplanned interruptions that in today's conversation I want to refer to them as hiccups in your leadership journey, because we are pretty much familiar with like a hiccup. It kind of interrupts and impacts our breathing. It impacts our ability to kind of continue movement, at the time that a hiccup is happening. But our goal is always to remain productive and to create results in how it is that we serve and working in a day-to-day basis. So like let's talk about like a hiccup. So a hiccup in general, of course, you're like, okay, what made her pick hiccup? I heard it somewhere in these internet streets, and I was like, okay, I could connect a hiccup. I'm good with my metaphors. I could connect a hiccup to how it is that we are impacted in our day-to-day experience and trying to level up our career on a day-to-day basis. So um a hiccup, usually some of the symptoms of a hiccup comes from a variety of different things, but it also like creates like this tension that you may have in your um body. You may be excited about something and it creates a hiccup. I know I have a friend that when she starts laughing like really really deep and intensely, she begins to like hiccup and has to kind of slow the excitement down so that she can again be present in the conversation. But a hiccup is also created from emotional stress, or irritation of like just your body, central nervous system or whatever. There are other times that a hiccup can result from like trauma that has been disrupted in what situations you can control and what situations that you can't control. And I know that that word trauma is thrown around a lot these days. And so sometimes I think that we end up losing focus on what is, a true what is true trauma. I mean, because it can really be arbitrary. It can look a lot of different ways for different people, because trauma tends to be um direct or indirect. And so you can have an indirect experience that has residual impact, or you can have something that's really, really impacting you from a car accident or something like that. But nonetheless, it creates a pause. It creates an interruption and disruption in how you function prior to an event that you have been exposed to has created. And so if you don't have control over a situation, it tends to lean into possible anxiety, possible stress, as it's kind of managing different things short term or long term. And so it depends on how it is that kind of navigate managing changes and managing conflict from how it is that you show up on a day-to-day basis. But then not only how you show up, what is it that is happening in your day-to-day that may distract you, that may cause you to pause to make other people comfortable. And the idea is that we all have our own individual unique footprint within our roles on how we touch the world, whether it has leadership in the title, in the role or not. We're all authentically leaders. And it's like you just have to know what your PowerPoint is and know what your where your strength points are so that you can effectively activate your lane of genius. And so when you're doing your lane of genius though, the people around you may or may not receive that well. And the reason they may receive it well because they come to you for the answers. They come to you for, kind of recognizing how it is that you can help them, how it is that you can support them in resolving whatever the problem. And because you as a leader, you are a big thinker. You are always trying to look at the symptoms of the challenge and get to the root cause on how it is that we can resolve it, or how it can be broken down into little steps, or make it like a project or an event that's going to resolve the problem. Because the goal as a leader is that you're navigating and putting puzzle pieces together, and you become very passionate and excited about it because you have your unique footprint on how it is that you show up in the workplace. But then not only that, you also think so largely that sometimes it has to be broken down and it has to be divvied up between other individuals. So you have to know who it is that you are surrounding yourself with, because the fact that you think large sometimes can be the thing that separates you from where you are and where you're striving to be. So like if that hiccup of criticism, or that hiccup of how do you always know this, or that hiccup of questioning how it is that you are able to effectively see from the problem where we sit and be able to see where the problem is and how it lives, like, and impacting, stopping us from doing something that's overly excited, but yet it's creating distress because our progress that we look for has been impacted and interrupted. And so when you are responding to people who are on your team that don't think big like you, it's like you only want to kind of, give them the smaller version of you, or give them the part of you that you feel that they can handle. However, that's you playing yourself small. And so these unplanned conflicts or these unplanned challenges that are happening around you cause you to think that, okay, well, maybe my unique footprint is not the unique footprint that's here, or maybe what my voice was in that conversation was not the comment or the thing that I should have suggested at that particular time. When you are a big thinker and when you are a problem solver, you have to always stand in your greatness, and you always have to recognize that everyone around you may or may not, understand how it is that you level them up, and they also may not understand the larger picture the way that you do. So the thing is that when you are in this space, and you have to not become frustrated with the people who are around you, but the benefit is, who do you have in your support corner? Like, who do you have, kind of nurturing and building you up? Because in each stage of your growth, each stage of your leadership, the people who were around you in the previous season are not necessarily going to be the people who are around and supporting you in the next season. So you have to learn how to level up by playing with the people who are at your ambition level, your big thinking process, and higher. Because otherwise, you will be at the glass ceiling and you will not be able to see through the criticism and see through the self sabotage or the second guessing, because the ambition of those around you are in a state of complacency, and they're okay with the hiccup kind of pausing their excitement and pausing whatever it triggered for them, either medically, emotionally, environmentally, or whatever. And they'll just kind of go back to the flow and fall in line. However, if your divine favor and your unique footprint is calling you to think higher, then create a space, create a team of people that may or may not be in your current work environment. It may be you leveling up to the future work environment or to a future role, like within the company that you're in, and being able to know that your footprint will be recognized under the circumstances of being with people who also think in that higher vibration. Because if you're with the individuals in the lower vibration, it's going to cause you to not know what your secret sauce is. So your secret sauce comes in that unique footprint, but then also understanding that you have a favor, you have a discernment, you have an understanding of how to read the room with authority. And the thing is that sometimes it gets deactivated by the fueling or the invitation of those who think from a lower mindset or from a lower capacity, or from, they're just okay with just going along with the get along and getting the job done. However, when your light is shining, do you also on the other side become intimidated? Do you think about performance anxiety? Do you think about, can I sustain on that side? I'm going to say all of those questions, if they do resonate with you, tend to come from somewhere else in your life. It's not necessarily that the job is creating this unrest or these hiccups or these symptoms that are causing you to pause. It's just that you see yourself where you are now and you are able to see the vision of where it is that you would like to go. However, there's a gap in between where that bridge is, and it makes it difficult for these gifts, these big ideas that you have, to find a place, because everywhere that you are around, the light is being dimmed on them. And if that's the case, you're in the wrong room. Like, you need to utilize, or you should utilize, understanding that your unique footprint is more than capable to be in any room, but are you reading the room accurately to know when to share the puzzle pieces and when to not? And sometimes knowing that breathing room or that space in between where you are and where your vision is, and seeing your natural leadership gifts, your natural leadership talents, how you naturally fit into situations. You don't know how you know all of the answers or some of the answers, or the ability to create the strategy and skill set that is going to help resolve whatever the problem is that we do in your work. However, it's been deposited into you for a reason. And not utilizing that, not getting in tune with how those barriers and blind spots may actually exist, can create an opportunity where you end up missing the mark of the favor that has already been placed upon you in your leadership role, and being able to effectively recognize that your ability to level up, your ability to play with the people in the higher ambition at your ambition and higher will begin to position you to effectively be able to engage in those larger conversations, be able to walk into a conference room unapologetically and requesting what it is that you need for the project, or if you're looking for a pay increase. You can walk in with being the authority of the room and not falter into not understanding what your gifts and talents are, because your unique footprint creates what is necessary for you to excel. You don't have to dim your light. You don't have to self-sabotage. You don't have to second guess. You can authentically and with authority not allow the hiccups of the people who are thinking at a different level than you. And when I say different level, that they don't see the vision that you see. And sometimes when you have that divine favor for how it is that you activate and utilize the skills that you have that create you to be a leader in your lane of genius, everyone else is not going to understand that footprint. However, to get that breathing room, get that support system, get the individuals in place that is going to help you and nurture you to move to that next level is very, very important. Because the thing that's important at the end of the day is that what is designed for you is not going to be taken away from you. And what has been placed before you or seed planted in regards to your how it is that you level up in your career is not even a competition. Like competition, and in the thought process of competition, yes, you may be aware that other applicants within your team are applying for the same situation or same leveling up or the same position in your company. However, you have a unique footprint. You should put blinders onto the qualifications that you have next to the next person. We often dim our light by looking at, oh, well, this person has this certificate, this experience, this whatever, and I only. No, you have what you have. They have what they have. Your unique assignment is going to be honored by your divine assignment, recognizing that competition is irrelevant. You have to apply the pressure and knowing when it's time for you to excel, because securing the job is a goal. Securing that leveling up, creating the life where you want to live on your own terms, getting that pay increase, being able to walk into the conference room, to the meeting room with the boss, having a meeting about the meeting, but being able to walk in authority and say that this is what I deserve, or these are the resources that I need, and not falling into feeling like a little child that is balled up where you're not able to respond and ask the questions that you need to ask. Because competition is irrelevant, you are encouraged to apply the pressure, to be you, to excel unapologetically with the ambition that you have. Remember, your ambition will be met with other people who have the ambition that you have and higher, when you are positioning yourself and putting yourself in the right situations and in the right room, because your gifts precede you. Like your gifts are already opening up the gateways and the doors for you to go into the certain spaces that you should not in any situation ever find that you need to apologize for what it is that has been given to you naturally. However, the apology or the permission that is needed is for you to confidently know that you can walk into this space and create what it is that you need for how it is that you want to live and build your career moving forward. So it's like the concepts or the things that you hear from the outside are no longer relevant, because you are understanding that you may have been leading from the background, and now it's time to lead from the front. It's time for you to understand how it is that your unique footprint is important, and how it is that you have the permission to basically create your voice, create your space, because people want to hear the solutions that you have that's going to help not only level you up, but level their company's mission, level their company's goals, because you have the solutions. So if you have the solutions, why would you be the secret keeper and not allow your natural gifts and talents, your natural divine favor, to be able to say, okay, let me look at the symptoms. Let me break this down. Let me read the room and understand that sometimes I have to show up in spaces that may or may not be comfortable for me. but no one ever grows in comfort. So if it's comfortable, it means that you have become complacent. And the goal is to not become complacent, because then you're not authentically living in the space in which you have been brought to this level of your career to do. So it's like people are waiting for you on the other side. I know we hear that in other spaces, but it's like the question I would have for you is, are you willing to stretch your mind, and are you willing to redirect how your skills are being utilized and use them effectively in how it is that you want to level up your career? The question is, what is in the way? What are the barriers? What are the blind spots? What is you being you cost you? Like, what is you being you, make you feel uncomfortable? You being you in the meeting, why are you thinking, should I ask this question? Should I not ask this question? If the question or the resolution has been deposited, read the room, put the words together, and speak in your authority. You have the solutions to what it is. You're the only thing holding you back, or the glass ceiling only exists when you create that self-sabotage. So if you are creating that self-sabotage, that self-doubt, then you are pausing you living in your authority. And so that would be my nugget, like, for today, like, in thinking about like how it is you can lead from the front, come from behind, whatever it is that is holding you to say, oh, well, let me dim my light, let me second guess, let me not think, let me not, value myself and value my skills, myself, and present them in such a way that is going to help me navigate how it is I could level up in my career, like, unapologetically. So, and like looking at how it is that you level up, like, there are different strategies to that. There are different, goals that you have to put in place. And I have a framework that I refer to as the GPS framework, because when you have a destination that you're trying to get to, that destination is not always a simple, navigation process. It sometimes ripples in the matrix. It's sometimes hiccups. Life is always happening around us. So if life is always happening around us, we have to have the appropriate GPS navigation system to kind of help us get to that goal that we desire, and being able to navigate for the interruptions that happen along the way. So in the framework of what I have created with the GPS, the G stands for goals. So we would come together, have a conversation, and create, what are the goals? Where's the vision of your divine favor of utilizing your leadership qualities, your leadership gifts, your leadership talents that's going to help you to get to that next level of your career? And then the P is about planning and positioning. So planning and positioning yourself so that you can effectively, know what the hurdles are, what resources do you already have, what credentials you already have, what skill set you already have, and begin to create the strategy of implementation side by side, and knowing how it is that you can show up, knowing is how you can read the room and be able to position yourself to break that glass ceiling and level up unapologetically, again using your natural leadership skills that you have. Whether leader is in your title or not, you are a leader in your lane of genius. So are you effectively in your lane of genius, and are you willing to stretch yourself to say, I'm no longer willing to just be complacent, I'm no longer willing to just accept what is given to me, and to dim my light to make other people feel comfortable? So it's like, if you think that, that suits you or fits you, feel free to reach out to me at workwithmarymay.com, or you could DM me so that I can, give you the link to jump on my schedule. To have the breakthrough conversation is no cost to yourself or whatever. However, if you were able to see how, after us having a conversation, that GPS format can be implemented into your day-to-day challenges, so that the challenges are no longer challenges, and that you're able to cleanse out the glass, so that you can be able to, see clearly how it is that you are the authority in your space, and how it is that you can excel in that space, then we can have a different conversation. However, wouldn't you want to know or have a glimpse of what are some of the barriers and what are the blind spots that's keeping you at the level that you are now, because the only way to level up is to create yourself around those at your ambition and higher. So I thank you all for joining me for another Tuesday morning. Coffee with Mary May. Before you start your day, before you start your goals for the day, have a cup of coffee with me on Tuesday mornings at 7:30. So the goal is that I come in and share some leadership nuggets that's going to help build you up, as well as information throughout the week. However, on Tuesdays, I try to narrow and zone in on things that's coming up in sessions that I'm working with individuals who are leveling up their career, and hoping that it plants a seed for you to also do the same for you. So again, I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday, and thank you for sharing your morning preparation, your morning commute, your day with me. So I look forward to seeing you on the side and your success in becoming the greatest leader ever. All right. Take care. Have a safe day.